Hello and welcome to Voice of the Fat Mantis. Today we're going to be going over Moon Knight, Doctor Strange 2, and all things nerdy. I'm doing a general review of superheroes and all the things that you've been missing out on my channel. I know you miss it, but we have a special guest today, and it is MATKat from the prolific scooper and review nerd channel GEEK. What?
Hey guys, what's up, nerds?
How's it going, Matt? Welcome aboard. And guys, before we get started, remember to like, share, and subscribe so the Fat Mantis and MATKat can keep doing what we do best, bringing you all the news that's fit to print. Big week for Marvel.
A big week for Marvel. So now, you've been watching Moon Knight.
I have.
And what do you think about it so far?
Okay, so I have had a roller coaster feelings of it, but for the last two episodes, I've been on a high.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I'm giving it. I gave it like I thought the first episode was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The next two are like nothing's happening, and then like 4 and 5, I was like, I was loving this whole thing, this thing that they're doing. I think it's dynamic and different. You know.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, okay. What are your thoughts?
Oh, it sucks. It sucks. I do not like this show. I don't. Well, the first episode I thought was pretty good. The first episode, I take it back. The first episode was pretty good, but then, like you said, it was a roller coaster. But I'm in the down part still at the very beginning where it's just going down, and I don't think it's going to come back up this last episode. I was gonna ask you, do you think the last episode is going to deliver?
So here's the thing, and obviously we're gonna have to do a quick spoilers for anyone who's for Moon Knight stuff. I really enjoyed the asylum thing.
I didn't mind. I didn't mind it so much. You go ahead and finish.
So that episode, I was like, oh, is this going to be an Indiana Jones ripoff the entire time? I've seen this a million times. Not many people pull it off well. And then when he ends up in the asylum, I was like, what's happening? Who's in the other sarcophagus? What's going on? You know what I mean? So I was enjoying that whole thing. I enjoyed last episode. They show his true origin, right? They actually get into how he is, who he is.
Right on.
And so I'm enjoying it. What's weird is like some people say in one episode, I don't think they can wrap it up, but there's nothing really going on outside of the land of the dead story. Like back if he were to wake up with the bullet in him and be like, I'm better, all he has to do is beat up the professor and he's done.
Right on.
So I don't think there's a lot to wrap up,
Right on. How do you feel about the writing so far? Do you think the writing has been solid?
So, and I want to give super respect to my man, Oscar Isaac.
Oh, for sure. I was going to ask you about the acting.
I love him. I love him, and I think he's doing a good job. I'll tell you this. I feel like the script was written for a magnificent actor who can really play totally different parts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
I get you.
Like a Jim Carrey type or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who can really go out there, out of your mind. And I think it was written, and I think that Oscar Isaac is a great actor, but he's not great enough to sell the very shallow script.
Right on. I agree. We can talk about acting while we're talking about the writing. I don't like this show. I don't think it's very good, but I don't think that the writing is as solid as I would have hoped it would be. No. Now, in all fairness to the show, I've never read, I have them. I just haven't read it. I just bought some, a trade paperback of Moon Knight, but I've never read the comic book. So I don't know anything about this character really. I mean, I've had a comic book where he's in there, but he's not the main character.
Right. He guest appeared a lot.
Yeah, so
he's not a heavy hitter.
Right, exactly. So I went into this thinking like, oh, maybe I'll learn something. But I have to be honest, I haven't learned that much. I know that, I think that the writing is very bland in my opinion. And I'm just like, and some people say that I just want action and I don't want to learn about the character. I just want the superhero. And I'm like, that's not true. But I'm all like, I personally don't feel like I know anything about this. His brother died. His mom turned into a drunk. She was a crappy mom. He left the house, became a mercenary. But I'm all like, I'm sorry. I don't care because you've wrapped it up in like in one episode that was, I personally didn't think was all that great. And I'm all like, you guys should, it's only 6 episodes long and you're doing this so fast. And I don't even think it's that great. I don't know, man. I just, but the acting wise, Oscar Isaacs, I think, is doing a good job for what he can. Except I hear a lot of British people making fun of his accent, like, "Hello, Governor, how are you today?"
Right, but we have to put up with all these Brits playing
Oh,
American roles.
I love it when they sound like this in our movie parts.
Yeah, they're making fun of the American Midwesterner, right?
Yeah, and then I do think that Ethan Hawke is also doing a good job.
Mhm.
But
Oh, he's doing a great job. And,
yeah, I do.
I kind of forgot he was a good actor. It's been a while.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, everybody's all like, he cheated on Uma Thurman. I'm all like, well, so I'm like,
I try not to get into their personal.
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. Who cares? Who cares? He's not Ethan Hawke right now. He's this psychopath.
Well, I wish. Here's the thing. I agree with you. So basically, why I brought up the acting was,
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
agree with you. The script is not very good, but I do think if you were to give it to a true thespian, someone who can really be multiple personalities, they'd pull that off.
Right on.
There's not a lot in the script.
Right on.
He's often alone talking to himself.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe if someone hammed up the what is it? What's his name? Stephen Grant? Stephen
Yes.
Grant?
Yeah.
If that character should be a little more hammy to be entertaining. You know what I mean?
I hear
I
you.
agree with you. He's not talking to anybody. The villain is so shallow. There's nothing going on with the villain. He doesn't have any actual villains per se in this story. That's another thing that's kind of bothering me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, if he comes back to life in the next episode, all he has to do is punch Ethan Hawke out and then it's over.
Well, I was going to ask you, do you think that they're going that Ahmet, is that how you pronounce that name? Ahmet. Ahmet. Do you think that okay, so when he becomes Moon Knight, he gets the whole suit because he's like the avatar for Khonshu, which I just want to say in Egyptian, it's actually Khonsu. I don't know why they added the H in the comic books. I don't know why. Anyways, so Ahmet, do you think she's gonna give
Ethan Hawke
like a suit, or is it just going to be? I don't think they're going to, because that'd be way too cool. I think he's just going to be Ethan Hawke, but he's all going to be like super powered, and I'm gonna be like, oh, this is lame. I want to see him like with like an alligator suit or something, and but I think that's going to happen.
So the thing that I agree. He should have had a suit a while ago. Is there if he's getting a suit, or at least some sort of powers? Like I'm supposed to be scared of an old like a weird hippie with a cane.
Right. And I think he has powers. Because okay, I don't, or maybe he doesn't. I don't know. But when he killed that homeless man, he didn't do the little judgy thing. He just grabbed him. He's like, "You're dead." So I'm all like, is he just killing people willy-nilly? And he's all like using that little cane to pretend. And I'm all like, I don't know, but in all honesty, I don't care. I'm like at the point where I just don't care.
So what is it? He's gonna free Ahmet, right? And so I assume that when he frees Ahmet, he'll get his full range of powers.
Yeah, and they better show this stuff, because I want to talk to you next about the effects of this, the digital effects and stuff. But they better show it, because I feel like the hippo was good and all that.
Hippo was so good. Khonshu doesn't look that good.
Yeah,
Khonshu needs better special effects, but the hippo, they went all out. Hippo lady was awesome.
Well, and I didn't like that when they had all the other gods like Osiris and stuff, and they had their avatars. I was like, oh, way to cheap it out, guys. Come on, just throw a couple more dollars into this. I mean, granted, it's easy for me to just be like, throw some dollars on top of this when they're all like, hey, you're only paying $5 a month, buddy. But I just go, come on. I'm like, yeah. Do you? And I think the effects so far have been just like those jackals. I'm all like, what is this nonsense?
Yes, the jackals are horrible. They do not. They don't even look intimidating.
Yeah, like, and they cheaped out by having them invisible except to Moon Knight. So when they're all like, oh, it's got me. I'm all like, oh, what is this? And they're all like, ooh. I'm all like, this is ridiculous. What is this?
I do wish
City or whatever that's called.
I really wish that Ethan Hawke. I don't even know what's his name. Harrow.
Yeah, Arthur Harrow.
I wish Harrow had physically imposing at least bodyguard. James Bond, how the villain always has like a tough guy.
Yeah,
for him to fight. I wish he had one of those guys so we could have a little more fisticuffs.
Right on. I agree.
Throughout it, and that's what it is. I think obviously any movie superheroic movie is held together, or project is held together by the villainy. And so if the villain isn't, like I said, if he's just a hippie with a cane, I'm not really that worry.
Right, with his glass slippers. Yeah, no, I agree. My biggest, like, one thing that I've complained about a lot during this show is also we've gotten like what 5 minutes of Moon Knight the whole show, and we're on the last episode, and I'm just like, what's going on here? Like, I really like, and I bring this up because I compare it to WandaVision. Now, I didn't like WandaVision either, but what I appreciated was we got a good mix of, superhero and then the woman behind the superhero, Wanda. And I felt like that was better at telling like all the personal stuff. We got to know the character, and we got to see her use her superpowers. Like, and not just like, I mean, for the first couple of episodes, she used like it for like a hot second, but I'm like, the other times I'm all like, no, she's really doing a good job here. I don't know. How do you feel about the Moon Knight being in the show?
No, I agree with that. And to be honest, I think that episodes 2 and 3 were so weak. I literally think that in terms of writing, they could be turned into one episode. They could be edited into one episode.
I agree.
Wouldn't have hurt us. And then not only that, you know how we have to wait in episode 2 until the very end to get just a little bit of Moon Knight? If they were bonded together, we'd at least get him in the middle there.
Oh, right, for sure.
And we wouldn't fall asleep before we get to him.
Yeah, so. It's just obnoxious.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. WandaVision, here's the thing. I think WandaVision was not a good superhero project, but was a great supernatural project. I think I
agree with
it was
that.
art. It was art replicating all those shows.
Mm-hmm.
That was impressive to me. I was like, wow, this is Full House.
Right on.
Wow, this is like a 50s thing. Like, wow.
I agree.
Yeah, and that was a marvel of its own. So I think it had its wins and its fails, Wanda.
Right on.
But in this, I agree with you. There could be more going on in these things. There could definitely be more Moon Knight.
Yeah, for sure. I just
forever since we've seen him.
Yeah, I know. I agree. I just I don't know, man. I just think that more Moon Knight and a little more action, a lot less Steven running, because we've seen a lot of that lately, and I'm just like,
him being like the Scooby, Scooby Doo, like, I'm scared, I'm gonna run,
yeah, and everything. You scream like a bitch.
Yeah, we didn't sign in to watch this beta.
Right on.
We're here to see like a superhero solves it with his fists.
The last thing I wanted to bring up is, and I've been seeing this a little bit online and everything, do you think they're going to do a bait and switch with Layla and her character? Because go ahead. Answer.
No, that's so fascinating that you bring that up. Wait, finish the thought, because I think.
Well, because I personally because I'm like, they mentioned it. He's already been killed twice. And I'm like, and Oscar Isaacs, this is supposed to be a mini series and everything. It could have a season 2 because it's not unheard of for a mini series. Like Pretty Little Lies was only supposed to be a mini series, and then it was so popular that they gave it a season 2. So this could be that. Although I just want to say it aired, its first episode debuted at like number 6 on the Nielsen charts.
Right.
But I feel like they've mentioned it that she's going to be the next one to take over after he died. After he gives it up. He's died twice. I mean, the first time he got the powers, but he's died twice. And Oscar Isaac, I don't think he's going to be doing any more as far as Marvel stuff goes, as that I know of, because I haven't heard of him being signed on for any like movies or anything. And I just go, and it really feels like they're trying to push the female characters of the Marvel universe, female Thor, Ms. Marvel, Captain Marvel, the Marvels, Wanda, all that stuff. So that's why I personally think that by the end of episode 6, he is going to die and Layla is going to become Moon Knight. That is my thoughts. What do you think about this whole thing?
Well, I thought you were going somewhere different with that, but I will say in terms of like what you just asked, if that happens, I will lose my flipping mind. I will throw furniture out my window.
Yeah. Go ahead. No, go.
It's how much of this do we have to put up with?
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's kind of excessive at this point where they're like, well, let's just fill it where it's all women and there's all the characters you once liked are now gone.
Yeah. And I go, we haven't, me personally, I just go, I haven't had enough time with this character to get to even like him, let alone love him. And you're just going to just throw him away like nobody's business. And I'm all like, yeah, I'm not down with this because, if you want me to love this character, you got to keep him around for more than 6 hours.
Right. Especially when you kill someone, they have to really put weight on who they are. You have to really like them before we have an effect when they die.
Yeah, exactly.
So if he dies next episode, I'm not going to care about him. You're right. And so keep him around. And then if they want to make Layla Moon Knight down the road, that's fine. But, when Oscar Isaac's tired of playing him.
Right on. Yeah, it's like I'm if they do kill him off, it's like Quicksilver from Avengers 2. I liked that character, and when he died, I was like, oh shit, they killed him. And then, but I literally don't give him any more thoughts because I'm all like, we had him for what, 2 hours? Okay, cool. Bye, Felicia. I'm good. I'm good.
But I will say this. I will absolutely say this. I have a theory, so I know what the rumor is, and so the rumor is that Blade movie is going to double as like a secret like Midnight Suns.
Oh, gotcha.
Thing. And so it's going to be like him, and it's going to be Black Knight. And the rumor is that they're going to put Moon Knight on that team, and so they're like the guys who kill the creatures of the night. And so I have a feeling that Oscar Isaac saying "I'm one and done" is a negotiating tactic to get more money for any movies he's going to do.
That's a good point too. I mean, he could do that.
A lot of times when people hear actors say things, it is all negotiating tactics. Like back in the day, Tobey Maguire famously, when they're like, "You're going to do Spider-Man 2?" He's like, "I don't know. All that hanging upside down has hurt my back."
Right.
That's just so they throw more money. And so Andrew Garfield even just said, like, I have a feeling that it's possible that he said, "I'm taking a break from acting," because he wants them to give him a Spider-Man contract.
Oh, right on.
And he wants to light the fire under their ass.
Right on. I kind of agree with you on that. In fact, I literally have it written down, and I'll talk to you later when we talk about the future of Marvel, because I want to talk to you about that after we talk about Doctor Strange too. That sounds that sounds plausible that they're going to do that.
Yeah, like I think that he's going to be. I have a feeling he's going to be in Blade, and I think he's just negotiating. Because think about how ridiculous that would be if they got an actor like Oscar Isaac just to kill him off and not have him actually appear in the movies. I'm almost speechless.
I totally agree with you.
Because when you said bait and switch, I thought, because the whole entire time I was thinking she might be evil or want revenge for her father.
Oh, that's a good point too.
And I thought that maybe at the end, like she's pretending to still want to be with him, and really she's just biding her time till she screws him over.
Oh, that's a good point too. I think that could be also something that happens. Because I'm sorry. This whole time, like they were like, oh, we were married, and I'm all like, I do not. You two, they're like pushing this love story on me because I don't feel like you two ever loved each other. Your chemistry,
chemistry, zero chemistry.
I was like, these two were in love when, because they got married. Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, I feel you absolutely. There's no way. No wonder they didn't have him kiss, because it would be ridiculous. It would be, right? It would be creepy to watch.
Oh yeah, when she kissed Steven, it was like she was just like and everything. Like, oh, we've all been there, right, guys? The girl did not want us to kiss them.
So, and guys, we're obviously not ready for the review of the finale of Moon Knight, but we are going to be continuing this allegiance between Geek What and Voice of the Fat Mantis on Wednesday when we drop our joint review of the season finale and full season of Moon Knight.
For sure.
Check it out, guys.
Yeah. Okay, so Doctor Strange 2 is coming out this week.
Yes, I'm ready. I got my ticket. I'm ready. I'm like,
right on.
I'm gonna wear a cape.
Nice. I no, that sounds really cool. If you do wear a cape, that's super cool. I love. What was that?
I'll take pics.
Right on. Yeah, no, I love cosplay and stuff. It's just it's too expensive to get into that stuff. It's like crazy. But okay, so Doctor Strange,
it's not a fancy cape or anything.
Right on. So you're excited about this. Do you think that there's some, I don't know if this is the right word, because some cognitive dissonance where people are automatically going into this loving it. So no matter what, Wanda stands are just automatically like, this is the best movie ever. And then, but it could totally be crap. But they are so like in love with the character. And I'm not dissing on Wanda, so calm down if you're getting all mad. I'm just saying.
Me or the audience?
Do you think that there's a possibility that if it's bad, that even if it's bad, Wanda stands just like, no, it wasn't. It was good. It was good. You're just a hater. You hate women. And it's like, no, I don't.
I feel like that already happened with Black Widow, because I went with a group of friends and I with a huge Marvel heads. And I tend to be a little more critical on the stuff I'm watching. And I walked out of that and I was like, well, that movie was just okay, but it really was a waste of time. And everyone with me was like, yeah, this is awesome. Go Black Widow and all this stuff. And it took them months. It wasn't until the internet decided that movie wasn't good, that they admitted that they're like, that movie kind of sucked. And I said the day of, you were standing it, because you're going to stand anything Marvel.
Yeah, I think that, and that's another thing about Marvel fans, and I'm a Marvel fan, so calm down, crazies. Is like I have certain friends that they just love everything Marvel, and I'm all like, I don't see how. Like, if you love it, that's fine, but it's like they loved Eternals. I thought Eternals was pure garbage. They love every TV show. Now, I haven't liked any of the TV shows except for Hawkeye, but Hawkeye I didn't think was amazing. But I'm just like, and they're always like, you just hate everything. And I'm like, yeah, and you just blindly love everything.
Yeah, and the brand of Marvel is so strong that there's a lot of that where people are already ready to love it. There are, I remember I saw one of my friends put on social media, they were listing their favorite Spider-Man movies, and before No Way Home came out, they said they put it as 2.
That's
and
so
I said,
funny.
You haven't seen it yet. And they go, yeah, but I just have this feeling.
I have this feeling.
I'm like, you're already ready to rank it your second favorite. I'm ready to hate any of these movies or love them. I don't know. I just need to see.
Right
they
on.
are ready to love them, and it's a problem with Marvel, because that means that Kevin Feige and them are not going to get good feedback. I think in case of Eternals, they got good feedback. I think it was the right call that people hated on that movie.
Yeah,
I don't think that was a good flick. But because remember at first, I think the like when when only the critics saw it, they were loving it or something, right?
Yeah. I can't remember what they gave it on Rotten Tomatoes, but they did give it.
I remember that it kept slowly falling. It took a while to get to its place.
Yeah.
And I just think they're not going to get good feedback, because they're going to hear all the yes men and not people pointing out the flaws.
Right on. Yeah, no, I think that, you're right there. Now I wanted to ask you, okay, so there's going to be some cameos in this movie. Now I love spoilers, so I went as soon as spoilers pop up, like I'm, all the scoopers online, got their notifications on Twitter's turned on. I am on Reddit like nobody's business, because I want to know everything now. So I have heard about all the cameos. But as far as cameos goes, which one are you most excited about? I'm not going to tell you mine because I don't want to spoil anything, but I'll give a spoil. I'll give one that's in the trailer.
So I mean, I would have to be crazy not to say that it's not a certain wheelchair bound King of Mutants, right?
You can just say Professor X.
Yeah,
if you haven't seen any of the trailer, or they did that featurette where like Wanda's Return, if you haven't seen them, because or no, he wasn't in Wanda's Return. That was a photo I saw. Anyways, he's in the movie, so you can just say. Just say.
So I remember after the trailer dropped on the Super Bowl, I had to convince my friend that was Professor X's voice. He's like, that's not Professor X. I'm like, it is clearly.
Yeah, it's so yeah.
So, but
and Patrick Stewart said it was him. He
said
it in the movie, so
it's silly, but him. But however, I am not factoring in all the types of like alternate dimension versions of characters we haven't even seen yet.
Yeah,
and so like for instance, I'm really curious if we're going to see Reed Richards, and who's it going to be, and what's he going to look like, and what's it going to be all about.
Yeah, I'll say my favorite, the cameo I'm looking most forward to, and this is not a spoiler because it was in the recent TV spot. I'll just say Carter, Captain Carter.
Captain Carter.
Only because I love Haley Atwell. She's so great. I love her so much. She's such a good actress. And even though I do not like that character, because I thought What If was pure garbage, I just want Haley Atwell to get more work, and if she's gonna be a superhero finally, then that's cool and everything. So
I'm such a fan of her, and to be honest, I have a crazy, like, I have already thought in my head. I'm a writer, so I come up with all these like script ideas that like obviously will never be made. But I was like, if I was in charge of Marvel, this is what I do. And one of the things I was thinking is like a show called Steve and Peggy that takes place in the 50s.
Oh, that's
he goes
fun.
back and like he could be Captain America in the 50s with her as his like sidekick.
Oh yeah,
and that could be like an Agent Carter like unofficial season 3.
I think that would be great.
That would be a cool.
I loved Agent Carter. I thought that was a really good show.
Yeah,
so that's a good idea. Marvel, Kevin, I know you're listening. You're watching this. Take his idea, run with it. Give him credit, though. You got to give him credit, though.
Just you can do a limited series, 6 or 8 episodes. We'd love it. The audience would eat it up. Obviously, pay Chris Evans what he's worth, and just give the people what they want. You know.
I could not agree more. Now I mentioned that leak, like I'm on Reddit and there's a bunch of leaks about this movie.
Okay.
When it comes to leaks for you, and this is in general, A, do you like them? B, do you think they're getting out of control? And 3, do you think that when it gets out that people like myself just ruin it for everybody because we're just all looking for it and stuff?
Okay, so answer number 1, yes and no. So if it is just the appearance of a character, I'm fine with that leak. A plot twist that like I don't like, I can't stand. And so if somebody's just like for instance, if you tell me so and so kills a character, I'll be upset. But if you're like, yo, I heard Tom Cruise is in here as Iron Man, I'd be like, oh, that's great. But I really, to have fun with it, I got to see it. So I'm gonna enjoy seeing that.
Yeah, that's like I know the whole plot of the movie, and like I have this guy that I work with, and he was so mad at me when I told him like because Endgame wasn't out, but I was like, well, or Infinity War, I was like, oh yeah, well people are gonna die, and he's like, people are gonna die, and I'm like, well yeah, it's in the comic books, and he's like, how do you know this? Now I lied because I had read the leaks, but I was like, well, it's in the comic books. I was like, if nobody dies, then that's stupid. I was like, that's the whole point of the comic book. But I do get in trouble because I like say stuff and I'm all like, crap, sorry, my bad. But I like leaks. Do you think people like myself that are just that read everything and anything? Do you think that we ruin it for the bigger audience?
So I'll tell you, my sister, I have flipped, and we have now rules about when like a show comes out, because she like there are literal times where I've been in bed and I like wake up, it's 8 a.m. and she's already up and seen the latest episode of whatever. And I look at she's texted me first thing and she'll be like, I can't believe they did this on Severance. And I said, I haven't seen it yet. I literally just
That's so funny.
And so I get angry and I'm like, there are now rules. Like, you're not allowed to text me about it until afternoon.
Right on.
You know, give me a chance to see it and stuff like that. So like, I kind of lose my mind. It is getting out of hand.
Gotcha.
But in a day and age where we all have freaking cameras, studios in our pockets, how can it not?
It's me personally, I love it. I can't get enough. I'm all like, I could watch, like, for instance, Endgame. I have to see these movies on Sunday, so like everybody's seen it before me, but I'll read the whole plot line. But like I tell people, it's so different seeing it than reading it. Like when I read, like in Infinity War, or for instance, when Iron Man gets stabbed, I read about it, but as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, they stabbed him. I was like, this is crazy bone.
Right, because it's not real until you see it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not real. It's a fan fiction otherwise, right?
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you just one more thing about this, Doctor Strange, and then we can move on. But okay, so America Chavez is in this movie. Now, some people have said that this isn't the same America Chavez from the comic books because looks wise, she is very different. I mean, the America Chavez,
clearly an age by a couple of years difference.
How do you feel about this character? Like, as far as, because we don't know how her personality is, but I have a feeling that her personality is going to be very different in the movie than in the comic books. I don't know if you've read those comic books or not.
No, so I've read some Young Avengers.
Those America Chavez is such a crappy character.
I don't
like any of the new characters they're bringing in because those comic books were pure garbage, and I'm all like, whatever. But how do you feel about this character?
So remember how we talked about like people villains getting in line? Like, are you know, it's not even your turn yet. How could you do this? So I would say, think about it this way. Miss Marvel and America Chavez are joining the MCU before Wolverine or Reed Richards. That is a problem to me.
I agree.
That is ridiculous.
Do you think that they're scraping the bottom of the barrel when it comes to characters?
Yes, and I think that the thing we were talking about for Batwoman is one of the main problems. They're looking for diversity for diversity's sake and not evaluating if this is the best diverse character to bring in. And so once again, I'm sorry to sound political, but America Chavez is a twofer, as they would call it, as in she has double oppression. So they're like, that's good. We don't have to pay one actor for that type of representation. And they're not really, like, for instance, I'm not even sure if there is a major storyline where Doctor Strange teams up with America Chavez. I don't think that has ever happened in the comics. If I'm wrong, please someone someone in the chat.
Yeah, if she did, I don't remember. I only read like a handful of them, and I was like, this is dumb. I'm not paying money for this, because when you buy comic books, if you go to the comic book shop like I do, when you get like a stack like this, that's like a big chunk. That's like $50, and I'm all like, who's got money to spend $50 every week on comic books? I'm like, and for bad comic books, I'm like, no, I'm not reading this nonsense. I'm dropping. The same thing with Miss Marvel. Those comic books were friggin' trash. I couldn't relate to that character at all, except for that she was all geeky. Like when she first met Wolverine, she's like, "Oh my God, you're Wolverine." I was like, "Well, I can relate to that because that's how I'd act." I'd be like, "You're awesome and everything. You're so much shorter than I thought you'd be." I don't think I agree. They're or maybe they're not scraping the bottom of the barrel, but they're like you said, they're rummaging around to find specific characters to meet this specific character that they want.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's good.
No, I'm not loving it. Yo, super quick anecdote. So I was applying for a job at Marvel and I got to the second interview process.
Oh, lucky.
And during, I mean, I didn't get the job, but they seemed to, I was heading it off with the guy and he's like, "You want to take a tour?" I said, "Sure." And we walked around. He was super friendly, super cool. And we go over there, and this is at the height of Miss Marvel and the height of Hawkeye. And Sana Amanat, the creator of Miss Marvel, is there. And she's like, "Oh, hey, you want to see how the things are done?" And she's like showing editing processes or whatever. And she starts handing me free comics. And nice. She hands me, and I'm like, "Oh, Hawkeye, this is great, this is cool." And then she starts putting Miss Marvel in there. I'm like, "Oh, cool." And I take the Miss Marvel and I put them down.
That's fine.
She picks them back up and keeps putting more in my hand.
That's
like
so
forcing
funny.
the Miss Marvel comics onto me.
Yeah, you should just throw them away as soon as you left the building.
It was respectful. So thanks. And I actually tried to read them, and once again, like you said, not great. So
they're not good. She doesn't I can't relate. It may be hard to believe, but I can't relate to a 16-year-old girl. I just can't do it. It's I'm like, that sounds like your problems. I don't have those problems.
The thing is actually, I think a well-written story, you can relate to whoever it is.
Right.
I don't need to see
agree
myself in a comic to enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Right
Some
on.
of my favorite characters are female characters. That's totally fine. Or teenagers for that matter. I just think it's very derivative. Like, for instance, all of its major strokes are very Spider-Man. It's Amazing Spider-Man all over again. They're just like, they kind of put, like, in video games, they have different skins. They just put a teenage Muslim girl over Spider-Man. And it's like, I live in the city with my family. They won't understand I'm a superhero. High school is rough, and I'm like, well, I've seen this before.
Right on.
There's nothing new actually happening.
For sure.
So real quick to the audience, it's very important, guys, that you do your homework. I know it's kind of sucky that you have to do homework for a movie, but I think this might be worth it because I'm very excited. I think this is going to be a good one. But obviously, you got Doctor Strange 1, obviously, right?
Right.
WandaVision. I know it's like, what, eight or 9 episodes? So that is a lot of work. That's a lot of time to commit. And there's at least two episodes, I think, maybe 3 episodes of What If you got to watch. You got to watch Captain Carter.
Right.
You got to watch Zombies.
Yep.
And you got to watch the Doctor Strange. What if Doctor Strange's heart died instead of his hands or whatever?
Yeah.
And all that before you watch this. And it is a shame that we have to do homework, but I think it's gonna be worth it.
Right on. I'm not watching WandaVision or What If again.
You really wouldn't watch that episode? You didn't like the Captain Carter episode?
No, no.
Oh wow, I like.
I take it back. I liked one episode. I liked the zombies episode. I liked it,
Oh,
and it's getting its own show. So yay!
Yeah,
Because I liked that storyline in the comic books. I read all of those. I really liked it. It's just they did it a little bit differently, but it's like whatever. But yeah, no, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I just yeah, which was crazy because that was the show I was most excited for because I love those comic books, Marvel What If comic books. And I was like, oh my God, I was like, are they going to do What If Punisher became an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. or are they going to do, you know, this? And they didn't do none of that crap. They
didn't do dynamic
ones. Which I get it why they didn't do it. But at the same time, I just go, I'm not interested in this. Like this is let me down hardcore. So
I will say they did. Yeah, they didn't go crazy with it because like they took really safe stories. An example of one is like, what if Thor was an only child? And I'm like, that's not a cool what if. That's so stupid.
Yeah.
And the idea is like he partied more.
Yeah.
If he was an only child, that's it. That's all you have for us.
That's it. He became a dude bro. Like what?
But yeah, no, they should do things like that. Like they're like, what if Wolverine was became the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. or something? Something crazy like that, right?
Yeah. Like, or what if, like before that show came out, I had went and bought a whole bunch of what ifs. Like I just went to comic book shops and I went through all their old comic books and I bought a whole bunch of them because I was like, well, I'm going to bone up and see which ones they're going to do. Like what if Storm, never joined the X-Men and she stayed a pickpocket and like, what if, and like, even like, what if Punisher killed the whole Marvel? I mean, they're not going to do that. Obviously I knew they weren't going to do it, but like, I don't know. I was just excited to see something different. And they just went with classic old Marvel stuff. So, MCU.
And this isn't an original idea, super quick. But I think the internet was talking about something like this, that the way they should have Deadpool end or Deadpool 3 is it should be, because there's the comic Deadpool kills the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
They should do a thing called Deadpool kills the X-Men, and he should have a movie where he kills everyone in the old X universe.
That'd be great.
That would be amazing.
That would be really fun. That'd be really fun. I'd watch that for sure.
That would be totally amazing. It'd
be so good.
And then at the end, he finds a portal to the MCU, and then boom.
Yeah, that'd be great. That's actually a really good idea. Whoever came up with that, kudos to you. Yeah. It's okay, but if you don't mind, can we move over to Star Trek's like distant cousin, Star Wars?
Absolutely.
Right on. So I don't know about you either about this, but I love Star Wars. I love the world of Star Wars. I love the aliens. I like Star Wars better than I do Star Trek. I know. Dun, dun, dun. Blasphemy. But I just do. I know it's not as, I would say, like mature because I think that they tackle some complex stuff in Star Trek. But Star Wars is just good old fashioned fun for me personally.
I love them both. I absolutely love them both. They do different things for me. That's why the world needs both of them. They're the two best parts of science fiction, right? A fantastical, mythic story like Star Wars, and then intellectual, other than the Paramount Plus stuff, but intellectualizing space travel is Star Trek, and you got the best of both worlds. And I think I think we should open our hearts to all of this.
All right. So I wanted to ask you about Star Wars. First off, what I want to talk to you about the shows coming up and everything, but how do you feel? Because I feel like Star Wars has done a lot of shows lately and they haven't done movies. And first off, how do you feel about the sequel trilogy of Star Wars? Because there's a lot of debate about this.
Oh my goodness! Oh man! Do we have another 4 hours? Okay, so when Force Awakens came out, I placed it as my third favorite Star Wars movie. I loved it. I thought it was amazing, even though it was similar to New Hope. I didn't care. I liked that it created all these stories. Like we're like, who is Rey? Will Finn find his family? Is he forced? Like there was all this stuff that could have happened. And then the next two movies didn't bother making any of that stuff come true.
Right on. Yeah.
It did not live up to here's what it is. J.J. Abrams, for everyone like to complain about him, he does do a good job of setting up mysteries. And what he does, he set up a bunch of mysteries and he's like, you guys figure it out. I'm walking away from the franchise. And then, I have a real problem with what's his face, Ryan Johnson, because I feel like that was the movie that destroyed it all.
Oh,
Nothing new was
absolutely.
accomplished in Last Jedi. All it did was just destroy the old like canon of Star Wars. And I was just like,
Yeah, I have to disagree with you on one thing and agree with you on another. I do not think J.J. Abrams is good at anything. I think he is the worst science fiction writer ever.
okay.
I think that all of his stuff is either just a carbon copy of something else that was great, or it's just, if it's an original idea, which is very hard for him, I think it's just bad. I do not like him at all. Yeah. So but I do agree that Ryan Johnson, he wrote a crappy movie, and I think he just ruined everything in Star Wars. Like, he literally brought down a franchise. And I personally think so, because Star Wars has never been the same for me personally, and it won't ever be the same.
Right.
And I think that, I think he ruined certain things. Like, for instance, and I'll only use me as an example because I don't know about other people. But, like, for instance, I don't buy anything Star Wars anymore. Like, I used to, every year on a regular basis, I would buy clothing, action figures, coffee mugs, backpacks, little writing stuff, all that stuff.
Lightsabers, of course. Right?
Yeah, lightsabers. I don't buy any of that stuff. I haven't bought anything since The Force Awakens. I bought some stuff with that, but I haven't bought anything since then because The Last Jedi just ruined it. And I won't go to that Star Wars world. What's that called? At Disneyland or whatever it is.
Journeys, what is it? Galaxy's Edge?
Galaxy's Edge. I won't go there. I'm not interested. I don't care. I won't go to that hotel, crappy hotel that they got.
That's going to be nuts. Locking yourself in. You pay $5,000 to be locked into a hotel for 2 days of Star Wars. I don't even know if I'm that big a fan.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, and I'm personally, like, I think it sounded like a good concept, but I just go, who's got that kind of money? Like, I'm poor and I got 2 kids to feed and try to put through college. I ain't got money to just be blowing it on a 2-day hotel stay. Yeah. I'm like, I'll just go to a hotel and rent it for a weekend and dress it up like a Star Wars whatever, and we can all wear costumes and everything. Right. That'll be good enough. Star Wars is definitely different. So when it comes to Star Wars, as of right now, because they're doing, like I said, a lot of TV shows. Well, first off, what's your favorite Star Wars movie? You mentioned that before.
Right. So Empire Strikes Back will always be my favorite. I just can't find something better than that. Was my particularly.
For me, it's the Return of the Jedi. I love it.
Okay. You know what? Return is a very close, like, that's really great. And I feel you. Like, the original trilogy, like, how I'm actually baffled when people put something that's not in the original trilogy as their top.
Right. Yeah. I am too. Like, my wife loves the prequel trilogy. And I'm like, what? I'm like, don't get me wrong. Those movies, whether you think they're good or not, they're very Star Wars. But that second one is just so god awful.
My crazy nephews, who I play lightsabers with them all the time. And stuff. They are the ones who, I thought they were kidding when they said it, but they're like, no, the prequels are the real Star Wars. The old ones are boring. I said, what?
Yeah, I think it's, people say this, whatever generation you grew up with those Star Wars, those are your favorite ones. And but my wife, we're the same age, so I'm all like, why do you like this? She's like, I don't know, they're fun and stuff. And I'm all like, I mean, they are fun and they are very Star Wars, but like the second one is just, in my opinion, is just like one of the worst. Like, it's above the sequel. It's above the sequel. Yeah, Attack of the Clones. It's above the sequel trilogy, but it's at the bottom of all the other movies. So.
It's a shame. It's kind of like Age of Ultron, where a lot of important things happen in it, yet it's not a good movie. So you have to watch it in order to understand the story.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. What is your favorite Star Wars show that they put out?
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm going to have to say Mandalorian. I think most people say Mando. I would even say those 2 episodes of Boba Fett, which are really episodes of Mando, were the best of that right there, right?
Yeah, I read a thing that that said that those were actually supposed to be a part of season 3, but they filmed them and then they have the whole dust up or whatever because they what Pedro Pascal is very difficult apparently. But those, and then I also heard, and I don't know if you heard this, and I don't want to like ruin anything for you, but they were supposed to have in season 3 of Mandalorian old footage of Gina Carano just mixed in there, but I guess they couldn't do it for season 3, so they're going to hold off for season 4, which is really going to be, or they're going to hold it off for the Bo-Katan show. I can't remember exactly, but they are going to bring her back with deleted scenes.
I would love that. I love Gina.
Oh yeah. Disney did her dirty. Like I love her too. She's great. Yeah, but they're supposed to have her in there. Just it's all deleted scenes though.
Still, I mean, I would love to see her.
Yeah, like for sure.
They paid for those scenes. They might as well show it to us. Also, her leaving the show spontaneously is like nonsense. It's bad writing if they don't at least give her an exit.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. It's so stupid. What is Mando? What's your favorite season of Mandalorian? Out of the 2,
I'm going to say 2. I'm actually going to say 2.
Okay.
And so here's what it is. One is very. I mean, they're all so good.
Right on.
They're also good. Yo, dare I say it? Those 2 episodes of Boba, which were really episodes of Mando, were some of the best episodes.
Right on.
Like I definitely, I mean, you can't beat it. I know it's kind of cheesy because it's cheating because they're like they bring in Luke Skywalker, like all this stuff. But like,
right on.
Having Baby Yoda have to choose between the things, and it was excellent, man.
Right on. Did you like him having to choose between the thing?
Yes, and so here's why I think a lot of people on the internet, I'm just gonna, all respect. I don't know what your take on it is.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I think they're wrong. So I think that this is one of the times where the master is teaching the student the way he learned, and Luke had to make a very similar decision in Empire.
Oh, that's a good point.
He wanted to save his friends, and then Yoda said, "If you go save your friends, you can never finish the training."
That's a good point. I didn't think about it that way because I was like, "Why does?" Go ahead.
And he did, yeah, and he did, and then he ended up becoming the greatest Jedi.
Yeah, that's a good point. I've changed my opinion now. You that's an excellent point.
Thank you.
Because I was all like, why can't he just have both? I mean, come on, Luke. No.
As a practitioner of the martial arts, I did like kung fu for many years.
Oh, right on.
Masters are always trying to do stuff like they're always trying to do some mind game with you.
Right on.
Snatch the pebble nonsense, like kind of thing.
Yeah, you're getting one grasshopper.
So he was trying to teach him some sort of lesson, and I think that I think he chose right. He's choosing compassion.
Right on. Yeah, no, that's an excellent point / argument. Kudos to you.
Thank you.
So are you looking forward to Obi-Wan Kenobi?
I absolutely am. And I'm surprised you haven't asked me. Obi-Wan is my favorite character.
Oh, right on.
Who is your favorite character?
Boba Fett.
And so how did you feel about the series?
It sucked. The show sucked.
Did it ruin the character?
No, because I don't. Disney Star Wars is not my Star Wars. Ever since the sequel trilogy, except for I did like Rogue One. That's like on my top 3 favorite Star Wars movies. But
great movie.
Boba Fett, the show, it didn't ruin the character for me, but I read that a lot of the things people didn't like about the show was because of Rodriguez. Like he wanted those multicolor.
The Power Rangers.
Yeah. He wanted that stuff, and he wanted the Rancor King Kong scenes, and he wanted all the goofiness of it. And I just go, that makes sense. If you watch Rodriguez movies, that does make sense.
That's totally him. Shark Girl, Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Yeah. So I just look at. Go ahead.
Yeah, like Spy Kids. Yeah, he has a list of goofy, silly.
Yeah.
Even his vampire movie was very goofy.
Yeah, exactly. So I just go, all the stuff that I didn't like, I'm just chalking that up to him and going like, okay, I didn't like this, and it makes sense because that's how he is. So yeah. But the show was garbage.
Yeah, so. I had a friend who I was like, well, how do you feel about Boba Fett? And he says, bro, I have a tattoo on my chest of Boba Fett's helmet. How do you think I feel? It's
Right.
like, oh my God.
Yeah. So, Obi-Wan's your favorite character, so you're excited about this
Obi-Wan
this
is my
show.
favorite character, but he's always been my favorite.
Can I
And-
ask you? Go ahead, finish your
Oh
thought.
no,
No, you finish your thought, and then I'll ask you.
I was gonna say, like, even when he was just an old man, even before we had prequels, I liked him. I liked the idea of him.
Right on. Do you is this something you're scared of? Because we have that Inquisitor, the black woman. I read a rumor that the story really is about her and like her like a redemption story from being a bad guy. Would you be upset if they did that?
Well, if Obi-Wan redeems her, just flat out, no. If it's where it's really a story about her, I will lose. I think I've already made this threat already, but I will lose my mind.
Yeah, it's I'm like, don't name a show Obi-Wan if it's not about Obi-Wan and his story.
I forgot somebody pointed out that they were like, well, looking at the trailer, she's the only one who isn't deformed or wearing a weird helmet, so she's probably gonna be redeemed.
Yeah,
And I was like,
just
right.
Yeah, because I just go, nah, I don't know about you. I like my bad guys bad, and I like my good guys good. And there can be a gray area sometimes, but not every single character. I feel like that's what they're doing with every single character these days. It's like they're an anti-hero. And I'm like, I don't want that. And stop talking to the camera. Only Deadpool can do that. I've had enough. I'm like, everybody's doing it these days.
Everyone's doing it these days.
Is there anything specific in this show that you want to see in this show, as far as like, a character or a moment or,
I got a bunch. Actually.
Oh, okay. What's give me a couple.
Okay. So first one I've got to see is, I got to see a spirit Qui-Gon. If they didn't have if they didn't foresee, because actually in Revenge of the Sith, Spirit Qui-Gon was supposed to show up, but Liam Neeson had all this stuff going on and they couldn't do it.
Okay.
And so they literally only to take some of his sound bites, and they couldn't get him for it. But we need to see the Force Ghost of Qui-Gon training with Obi-Wan in like a cave or the desert. That would be amazing.
That would be cool.
Blow my mind.
Yeah, I would like that.
I have some fan theories that I'm really hoping get confirmed. One is in my mind canon, Luke's green lightsaber,
okay,
is the same crystal as Qui-Gon's.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. That's
because Obi-Wan at the end of Phantom Menace takes Qui-Gon's lightsaber.
Oh yeah.
And Luke supposedly made his new lightsaber on Tatooine. Is it possible he went back to Obi-Wan's old hut and he found the lightsaber, the crystal?
Oh, that's a good idea. They should film that and do it.
Yeah, that would be amazing, right? And then
great.
I also have a secret fan theory. They're less likely to do this one. I have a fan theory that believes that like Obi-Wan is like a drunk.
Oh,
like he takes to the bottle.
Oh, so gotcha.
I'm hoping that there's at least a scene or two of him drinking away because he's a depressed old guy in the desert. He's lost everything.
Right on. How do you feel about him fighting Darth Vader again? Apparently, there's 2 fights.
Okay, so I am pro this, and here's there's a couple of other stuff I wanted this. But however, I am pro this, and so remember, Vader's only in live action canon. I can't address the books because there's no way anyone can read all the books and memorize everything that happens. Sometimes people reference things in the books, and I'm like, that's a random book. I can't possibly keep up with that.
Right on.
Live action canon. All Vader says is, "I felt a presence I haven't felt since." He kind of looks off, but we don't know what he's thinking, right? So they could have another one, but I think that this one, at the end of it, Obi-Wan can make it look like he died.
Okay, yeah, no,
so Vader stops messing with him.
What were some of the other things you wanted to see?
Oh well, are you a Rebels fan?
Absolutely.
Okay,
I love all the animation except for Bad Batch season 1. I didn't like the first half. It got really good at the end, so I think that season 2 will be good.
I tried with Bad Batch, and I don't think it's horrible. I don't think it's bad. I just kind of lost interest or steam with it.
Yeah, for me, like I said, I think it's just the first half. I think that they were trying to find their footing, and then when they finally found it, I was like, okay, I'm on board now. So I'm looking forward to season 2. Now that I think that they're gone. But you were saying Rebels. Sorry, go ahead.
So, Rebels. So here's the problem. We've got Darth Maul, right? And so the movies made the mistake of, with Han Solo, the Han Solo movie, of making him a crime boss again,
Right
Darth
on.
Maul,
Right.
during this time period. However, when we meet him in Rebels, 5 years before New Hope starts, he's stranded on Malachor and as a hermit.
Mm,
And we're like, well, how did that happen? We get no story of that.
right.
If there is a Darth Maul, and I know he might, there's a good chance he's not going to be in it. I'm really hoping he's in it. I hope that it is Obi-Wan who strands him on Malachor.
That'd be good. That's good.
They could
That's
have a duel
idea.
there, and he make him crash on Malachor. And
That's really good. That's
that
a good
would
idea.
connect them.
Yeah. No, I really like it a lot.
Because people want him to kill Darth Maul on this one, but he can't because in Rebels he kills him there.
Yeah. So I don't want him to kill him either, because you could always do, another show or something with Darth Maul in there. Yeah. Never kill off a character unless you absolutely have to, because,
Marvel, man, Marvel should have most of these villains go to jail and not. Why do they just kill them all off? It's like a genocide of villains.
Yeah, I'm always like, don't kill off a really good character unless you absolutely have to, like, because
how are you
never know.
People, yeah, you might want to bring them back for like the second or third one, right?
How do you feel about the Andor TV series, the Cassian Andor series? Are you excited for that one? By the way, I'm sorry, my children are playing right now, so if you hear them, they are a force to be reckoned with.
It's awesome. As long as they're having fun. I'm having trouble being excited about that one.
Me too, which I didn't mind that character and the robot, whatever his name was, but I'm like, it's been so long that I'm just like, okay, when it comes out, I'll watch it. But as of right now, I'm just like, okay, whatever.
And you know what gets even worse? The thing that I was like, yeah, I'll watch that. That sounds good. I found out that in season 1, they're not going to have the robot.
What?
They said they're going to save him for later. And so I'm like, what is the point of that?
Yeah, what is the point of that? Because he was, well, now I'm not excited at all. Oh, that's ridiculous.
Oh, man.
Okay. Well, I guess whatever. What about Mandalorian season 3? Are you excited about that one?
Like, that's top tier. I just love everything coming out of Mando. There's a lot of people think there's no more story. They're like, without baby Grogu, there's not. No. There's a lot to be undone. He has to deal with Bo-Katan. He has to go get baptized in the waters of Mandalore. He has to, there's a bunch of stuff he himself has to do. And honestly, I think that eventually the series should land on visiting the planet of the Otis, wherever they are. I think that's where Grogu eventually should go.
Right on. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm also looking forward to this one. I have read / seen some stuff about, because Pedro Pascal again he's difficult. Apparently
that breaks my heart to hear. That breaks my heart.
And although it doesn't surprise me, like most of these actors, they can be such children.
You realize there's so many people who would give their left nut, pardon my French, to have his position, to have a job and acting as a working actor in a popular series.
Yeah,
I would be so grateful and so nice to the people on set, and
and he just wants to show his pretty face, and I'm all like, come on. But from what I've read / heard, they're going to keep doing it, but he's just going to do voiceover work. Like, he's just going to come into a studio for a day or two, record his voices, and then his stunt double will just do the action.
I love it. And you know why? Because probably not only is it cool that they keep the mask on, but he's probably getting paid better than any other actor. He's probably getting so much money for a voiceover. So he should be grateful for that.
Yeah, man. And I would have done that from the get-go. Like, if it would have been such a problem during season 2, I'd have been like, listen, you guys, I think that after this season, we need to readjust my contract, because I'm not going to come in here and put on this suit all day if I'm not going to be able to take my helmet off. So we just need to, I respect your process, but we need to change it up a little bit.
Yeah, just put stunt doubles in it. It's all right. I'm fine with that, as long as I hear that voice.
Yeah. And then I also wanted to talk to you. You don't think Boba Fett should get a season 2, do you?
So here's what it is.
Go ahead.
Being a diehard fan, and I love Boba Fett. I would give him a second chance. It would have to be a different showrunner. It would have to be different. We have to be promised a different director. But as of what they produced right now, Boba Fett is not a character that's usable. Like they sabotaged his character.
Yeah, I don't want a season 2. I love Boba Fett, but I don't want another one of the turn and shoot guys and I'm not interested. I'm not interested. It's one show that I also want to talk to you about, because we talked about Cara Dune / Gina Carano earlier, was Rangers of the New Republic. Now, there was a thing that this got canned, or that because Gina Carano got fired, undeserved, and then so they were going to switch out the character of her, and they were going to put Hera in there from Rebels. Oh wow! And then it was get canceled because from what I've read / heard, and I don't know if this is a spoiler and everything, because they were going to have Cara Dune in there with Princess Leia at some point in time, because they're both from what's her planet's name?
Alderaan.
Alderaan, thank you. Because they're both from that planet, that they were going to have an interaction, and they were going to use deleted footage and everything. But they couldn't do it now, but they're still trying to do all of it and everything. Do you think that this show can still be salvaged? And if it can it be salvaged without the character of Cara Dune?
Okay, so I don't think it can be salvaged without the character of Cara Dune.
Okay.
And I think they shot themselves in the foot being too heavy-handed on these actors. Like they're like punishing her for her own whatever went on Twitter. It's like something stupid on Twitter. When I researched what it wasn't even nearly as extreme as you would think. To lose her job.
It's not.
And so she's been a bad girl. But like totally cancel a show. And so what it is like at the end of season 2 of Mando, they were almost setting the seeds. An amazing scene is when they capture the shuttle, and the Imperial officer is just like, he's like, I know that tattoo tier.
He's like,
you're from Alderaan, and he's talking shit about how he loved blowing up Alderaan. He was there to see it, and then she just shoots him dead. That was an amazing scene.
Yeah, I find that very like that whole there's a great picture online an artist did where it was just refugees of Alderaan, and that's always stuck in my head because I've always like thought that would be a great story to tell. There's just like you have this whole planet and like you lose your whole world in a second. Yes. And I'm always like, what would it be like? And like you have this character, she lost her whole planet. I was like, oh, why don't we like, it's such a good thing to like dive into. I wish they would have done that. But I'm brown cow.
Right. And they can't do it. And they can't do it with anyone else, because if they make it a different Alderaanian, we're going to realize what's going on. And it's not genuine. And they set up all these things, and they really should have just really thought. And I think a lot of this, I know it seems like I'm going after women or something, but I think a lot of this has to do with Kathleen Kennedy. I think she's the one who's doing a bad job.
Oh, you can go after her. She sucks.
Yeah, she should have thought of business first rather than what Twitter mobs want. There's this clip of her out there right now where she's all like, if you don't like Star Wars, well, we didn't make it for you. And I'm like, oh, trust me, we know you didn't make Star Wars for us. Trust me, we know. You know what I kind of love. I think it's kind of funny that people keep doing this sort of thing, and it keeps biting them in the ass. So Kelly Sue DeConnick, who I've loved some of her comics from, in the comic world, she wrote all the Captain Marvel comics that are like being adapted into the modern day Captain Marvel, right? She's a hardcore feminist, and in one of her things, she said in an interview, she says, if you don't like my politics that I put in my comics, then don't read my comics. And then what should happen? A massive amount of people just not wanting to read her comics.
Yeah, there's even a clip of her saying after, like, she's like, I'm really worried because, floppies aren't selling anymore. And, comic book shops are. I was like, yeah, it's because of you. People like you.
Exactly. Like, you're taunting your customers.
You told me not to buy your stuff, and that's fine. I don't promise. It wasn't made for me. Apparently, maybe you should have made it for me because I'm still a comic book reader, and and people keep doing that. Like, I think I'm forgetting who, but currently somebody did this in the entertainment thing. They said, don't watch my show if you don't like
my radical politics, and of course people stopped watching the show and like it, you know, so there's a lot. I don't know why people are doing this.
Yeah, I don't know either. Like, if you think that way, fine, but don't say it out loud, because you're just you're sectioning off probably a very large fan base that's just like, all right, fine, I'm not interested in you no more.
If you had a small business, right, you wouldn't alienate the people who shop there, right?
Yeah, because then the market would just decide, and and you don't want that if it's going to go negatively, and you don't know if it's going to go negatively. So maybe you should just do your thing, and then that's the end of it.
And let people have their own opinions about stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to now flip over to the movie side of Star Wars, because we haven't gotten a movie in a long time. And I think that this is a negative, in my opinion. I know they did it because Solo lost money, but I think that Star Wars belongs on the big screen. The shows are great and everything as like an hors d'oeuvre, but I need my main course. So we have Rogue One that's in development, or Rogue Squadron that's in development. And they're saying this movie is going to get made. I mean, I don't know now. Just do you think it'll get made, and is that something you're interested in?
Oh, absolutely. Because here's what it is. It's maybe I'm just judging from the name of it, but it sounds like it should be like the artistic or thematic sequel to Rogue Squad. Not Rogue Squad. They're Rogue Squadron. So Rogue One.
Rogue One.
It should be that. And so I want to see more things like where they're like a commando unit does XY. This is going to be X-Wings. It sounds like a great movie. If just because Patty Jenkins can't, or maybe got fired, I'm not sure, from it, move on, get another director. Don't kill the movie. Stop promising us movies or shows and canceling them is the first thing I'd say.
Right on.
Don't put it. They literally put both of these things in a presentation, a Disney presentation. They named both that show and that movie that they would be making them. So now you need to make them.
Right on.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now, future of movies. So it sounds like Kevin Feige's got a Star Wars movie now in the pipeline. Mm-hmm. He hasn't said when. And then so does Taika Waititi.
Right.
And they haven't said anything about what it's about, or when it is, yada yada yada. What's something you would like to see in one of these movies? What's something that they haven't really touched on or done, or maybe they have done, or a character or whatever? What's something you would like to see in one of these Star Wars movies?
So what I would do if I was making a movie is, here's what I would do. I would jump 200 years in the future, make the star of it Baby Yoda as an adult. He's not old yet, but he's like a young Jedi Knight according to his age, right? And we could see him with a Yoda with hair, and he's going on an adventure. And
he's like still cute but creepy,
right? Yeah, and he's like a young Jedi, not a Mary Sue, but see his adventures. And since it's 200 years in the future, they could do whatever they wanted with the villains. They don't have to keep recycling the Sith. They can do some other guys.
Right on.
I think that would be fun. I think people would definitely go because it's Baby Yoda, right?
Yeah, that's a fun idea. I do enjoy Baby Yoda, although I do think we need to move on from him in Mandalorian, but it's fine. It's like whatever. I
was actually looking forward to a period. I thought they would at least make the period without him longer.
Yeah,
he just left, and now he's back. I mean, like it's next time we see him, he's back, right? So
yeah, that's exactly. I was like, oh, I thought it'd be like maybe a season, maybe half a season, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm not mad about it. That's the thing. I'm not mad about it. So.
Right.
That's all I have as far as that goes.
What movie do you want to see?
I always have these little like ideas, and it's not enough to make a movie out of it, or like a TV show. Like one thought I had one time was, so I love Return of the Jedi, and Ola, his like green Twi'lek dancer that dies and everything. I always thought like, what if we told the story of her, but like it was just like she's like on Ryloth, and she's all like, I'm gonna be senator one day, and then the next thing she's just getting eaten by a rancor, and I'm all like, I wonder what we could have done with that and everything. But I was like, but it's little things like that. I'm like, maybe
like she has a backstory, like she was important in an adventure or something.
Yeah, but I do I would like to see a bounty hunter movie, just where like in Empire Strikes Back, where they gathered up those bounty hunters, and he's all like, I need you to do this. I want to see that movie, but with those not those specific bounty hunters, but with like bounty hunters, but they're all going on one mission. They kind of did it in Clone Wars, but I would like to see a movie where it's like they're going on the mission to find somebody, but they have to fight each other also to stop them from getting it. A bounty hunter movie, because I love the bounty hunters in Star Wars. They're my favorite.
So, and other things I think that are very doable. They could get the chick from Stranger Things who plays 11, and she could play a young Princess Leia.
That'd be fun.
Her starting in the Rebel Alliance. Maybe she'll go on an adventure before she meets up with people. That would be fun. And then another thing they could do, I think would be great. I think people would eat it up. Is a young Palpatine.
Oh, right on.
Hear the story of Palpatine and how he gets corrupted, and
like on Naboo before he goes to Coruscant. Yeah, that could be fun too. I am curious as to how he became a Sith.
Right.
That is very interesting. Like was he just like one day, was it Darth Plagueis? No, it's not Darth Plagueis. That's not his master. Who was his master?
No, Plagueis. Yeah, it's Plagueis. Darth
Plagueis, is it?
The Wise,
I'm trying to remember, but he just like comes to Naboo and it's like, hey kid, and everything, and you're all like, what's this weird guy here for?
Dare I say it, but like, what is up with people allowing these like quote unquote child molesters get to their kids? Like how did failure of the sequels is how did what is this dude's name? It's funny we're forgetting our Star Wars villains.
You're right.
How did Snoke be able to create a relationship with a young Benjamin Scott Ben? Yeah. Well, like what is that? And they should have told us that. They should have explained that.
Yeah, they didn't, because they JJ and Johnson don't know how to write Star Wars.
There's literally a line in the first one where he's like, Harrison Ford's like, our son is evil, and she's like, no, it was Snoke. Snoke corrupted him. I'm like, well, who was he? Who did you let? Was he his math teacher or something? Like, what it was?
Right? Yeah.
We're owed an explanation to these things. Yeah. So seeing how Darth Plagueis got to a young Palpatine would be interesting. How did he keep this dual identity going? I think that dog would hunt, man.
Right on. All right. Well, I don't have anything else as far as Star Wars goes. Do you have anything else that you want to say or talk about?
Just may the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you. Yes, for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Excellent. It's always a pleasure, man. I can't wait for us to do our Moon Knight review.
I had so much fun. This was a good conversation.
This was amazing. You are where it's at, brother. And guys, this is the Fat Mantis signing off. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to Voice of the Fat Mantis for more nerd reviews, interviews, analysis, and everything geeky out there in the world. That's all the news that's fit to print. Until next time, ciao for now.